And this is the problem. Women today don't want to be used. Women today are so gosh darn selfish that this is why so many women get angry when you ask, what do you bring to the table? And their answer is, bring to the table. I'm not bringing anything to the table because I'm not going to allow you to use me. That's why that question infuriates women right off the rip. They don't want to be used. They want to use you. You are supposed to make their lives easier. And if you don't give them a life of upper middle class or lower upper class luxury, you don't matter.
Here's a tale from a pal. Hey, I'm a man who leans to the right, and even though I was born and raised in California, I became MGTOW years before I ever knew what the word meant. I turned MGTOW full-time because I was sick of being duped by women and dealing with their drama. I found your stuff, which helped me come to terms with my choice. Since making this change, I've observed a few things about women. It was completely surreal when women started approaching me in the workplace and elsewhere, where they never bothered to do so before. Now that the tables have been turned, they feel the need to prove they are deserving of my attention, and my poker face often causes them to fumble and second-guess themselves. Even though I've only dated 5s up to this point, I can now state that some 9s have also contacted me. All this has done is show me what an idiot I was to waste my time on ladies who weren't worthy of me. I was afraid that others would criticize my new way of life, but everyone seems to be on board with it now, and that includes some ladies, which is really surprising. I don't go out on the weekends either, and I use any spare time to hit the gym or catch up on some reading. And I have to say that it's totally worth it since I feel so liberated and have so much more time than my married friends and the times I had girlfriends. Some men have expressed to me their desire to spend less time worrying about pleasing women and more time simply hanging out with their girlfriends and talking about how boring their lives are. Many of them begin to see MGTOW in the same light that I do once we have a conversation about it. My response to inquiries about my lack of a female companion was always the same. I'm tired of looking, and eventually, I'll just live like this. That's my story. I like to think it's a good illustration of how one can raise his worth simply by ignoring women. I'm willing to bet that if you started paying any of those women, especially the 9s and 10s, any attention at all, they would lose interest almost immediately. The truth is that many women find it impossible to accept the possibility that any man would reject them. Since no straight man ever rejects a woman, when it really does happen to one, he is taken aback. As a result, they get envious and bitter when men pay no attention to their efforts to improve their appearance, as this triggers feelings of abandonment from their fathers. When she thinks back to the time when she was ignored, she realizes that the others around her are even more curious as to why the man in question is showing no interest in her. When a man ignores a woman like that, it causes an emotional crisis because the woman begins to wonder whether she isn't desirable to men in general. And when you're single, happy, and successful in life, it's like carrying about a mirror that reflects women's anxieties back to themselves. So ignoring women is like breaking a brain, and they'll want to prove themselves to you. In reality, women will stop at nothing to stop guys like him from spreading the truth about women. When men go into monk mode and talk about women's nature, most women will get defensive and even term men a woman hater, among other things. The fear of the potential harm you might inflict as a happy bachelor is implicit in the blame they place on males for not include women in their lives. If you agree with this guy and tell him that his lifestyle is acceptable, you're giving him legitimacy and hurting his chances of finding a good woman to settle down with. Because he is currently unapproachable, they wish to sell the relationship's potential beginnings. This is because the rejection of a straight male can cause a beautiful woman to question her own strength, even if she seems to be agreeing with you on the outside. Like I said before, people will likely condemn you if you make statements like "I'm not chasing ladies anymore" or "I'm going MGTOW," since you saying such things is taken as an indication that you hate women. YouTube has a lot of women working there, including the CEO. So you can imagine what kind of rules will be implemented if a majority of the staff is female. This is why using the term MGTOW will get you demonetized. Using it in the descriptions anywhere will cause YouTube to remove the ad revenue from your video. As for the pushback, there isn't much since this subscriber isn't actively spreading the word. They see him as a lone man with no real means of communicating his thoughts and feelings to other males. Actually, the part that women have trouble with is us getting everything together and making the movement organized. You know, I think MGTOW has existed forever, the difference now being that it has developed its own philosophy, language, and acronyms because all of its supporters came together and spread the word through the internet. Women are well aware of gossip's power to propagate ideas and divert attention. They also realize that gossip directed against them is especially harmful since it diminishes their perceived value in society. It's something that makes them less appealing and less likely to be rescued by a noble champion. Smart and accomplished men are slowly discovering all the movements and regulations that go against them. Yet it is easier than ever to humiliate a guy into getting married today, and he may lose control of his family if he does. These men know better than to ruin their lives for women, therefore they put in the extra effort to get to the top 20% of the male population. So, it's better that you understand when you are going to go your own way and ignore these women. You will be the talk of the town, obviously in the wildest manner. But all you have to do is to keep your principles straight and keep working on pursuing ultimate happiness. That's it for today's video. Meet you tomorrow. Till then, keep consuming your daily dose of red pill and share this video with your homies who need to go their own way.
Can I just have a seat real quick? Hi. Oh, this feels nice.